Reliant is a name that conjures up images of lightweight, economical motoring, most famously associated with the three-wheeled Robin and the fiberglass wonders of post-war Britain. Reliant carved out a niche as a small carmaker punching above its weight. But among their practical and sometimes quirky creations lies a rare gem, a car that broke the mold and dared to chase speed and sportiness, the Reliant Sabre. The Sabre isn't just a car, it's a statement. It's a machine that shows what happens when ambition meets ingenuity, all wrapped in fiberglass and powered by a spirited heart. The story of the Sabre is a tale of innovation, determination, and the pursuit of something a little more thrilling than the humdrum commuter car. To understand the Sabre, we have to go back to the late 1950s and early 1960s, a time when the British sports car scene was flourishing. MG, Triumph, and Austin Healey were building open-top roadsters that captured the imagination of driving enthusiasts. Meanwhile, in the Midlands town of Tamworth, Reliant was steadily building its reputation. Though primarily known for their three-wheeled vehicles, Reliant had something bigger in mind, a sports car that could stand shoulder to shoulder with the competition. The Sabre's story truly begins with the Sabra, an Israeli sports car built by Autocars Limited. It's an odd connection, but here's the twist. The Sabra was designed and developed by Reliant. Autocars approached Reliant to design a fiberglass-bodied sports car for export markets, and Reliant took on the challenge. The resulting car was the Sabra, launched in 1961, featuring a distinctive design with flared wheel arches and a bold front grille. Reliant didn't stop there. They saw the potential to adapt the Sabra for the British market and create a sports car that would bear their own badge. Thus, the Reliant Sabre was born. The Sabre wasn't just a rebadged Sabra, though. It was a refinement, an evolution. The styling was tweaked to give the car a sleeker, more European appearance, and under the hood, Reliant introduced some mechanical changes to make it a more competitive offering. At the heart of the Reliant Sabre was a choice of engines. Early models came equipped with a 1.7-liter Ford Consul engine, producing around 73 horsepower. For a car weighing just under 900 kilograms, this was enough to deliver sprightly performance and a top speed of over 90 miles per hour. Later, a 1.5-liter Ford engine became available, offering a slightly different balance of power and economy. These engines were paired with a 4-speed manual gearbox, sending power to the rear wheels. The chassis of the Sabre was another key feature. Reliant used a steel tubular frame, which was both light and strong. This was paired with independent front suspension and a live rear axle, providing a balance of comfort and handling. It wasn't a track day weapon, but for the winding roads of Britain and beyond, the Sabre was more than capable of delivering a fun and engaging drive. Of course, one of the Sabre's defining characteristics was its fiberglass body. Reliant was a pioneer in the use of fiberglass for automotive applications, and this expertise was evident in the Sabre. The lightweight bodywork not only contributed to the car's performance, but also gave it a unique character. Fiberglass had its quirks. It wasn't as easy to work with as steel, and the finish could sometimes be uneven, but it allowed Reliant to create a car that was both distinctive and affordable. Inside, the Sabre was a mix of practicality and simplicity. The cabin wasn't luxurious, but it was well thought out. Bucket seats, a straightforward dashboard, and a wooden steering wheel gave it a no-nonsense sports car feel. There was enough space for 2 adults, and a small boot at the rear provided room for luggage, making the Sabre surprisingly practical for weekend getaways. Reliant offered the Sabre in both coupe and convertible body styles, appealing to a range of buyers. The convertible, with its fold-down soft top, added a sense of freedom to the driving experience, while the coupe's fixed roof provided a more rigid structure and a sleeker silhouette. Both versions shared the same mechanical underpinnings, ensuring that whichever model you chose, you'd get the same spirited performance. The Sabre wasn't a runaway success in terms of sales. Reliant was a small company, and production volumes were modest. Between 1961 and 1963, only around 208 Sabres were built. This exclusivity, however, is part of what makes the Sabre so special today. It's a rare sight on the roads, a hidden gem from an era when British carmakers were unafraid to dream big. For those lucky enough to drive a Sabre, the experience is something to savor. The combination of lightweight construction, rear-wheel drive, and a willing engine creates a car that feels alive in your hands. It's not about raw power or neck-snapping acceleration. It's about balance, engagement, and the joy of motoring. But the Sabre wasn't the end of the story. It paved the way for Reliant's next sports car, the Scimitar, which would go on to become one of the company's most iconic models. The Scimitar took the lessons learned from the Sabre and refined them, offering more power, more luxury, and a more polished design. In many ways, the Sabre was the prototype for what Reliant would achieve with the Scimitar, a stepping stone on the path to greatness. Today, the Reliant Sabre is a sought-after classic, cherished by enthusiasts who appreciate its unique blend of style, performance, and rarity. It's a car that stands as a testament to what a small company can achieve with passion and ingenuity. At a time when the automotive world was dominated by larger manufacturers with bigger budgets, the Sabre proved that Reliant could build a sports car that was every bit as exciting as its more famous rivals. The Sabre's legacy is one of ambition. It's a reminder that sometimes the most interesting cars come from the unlikeliest places. Reliant may be best known for their quirky three-wheelers, but the Sabre shows that they were capable of so much more. It's a car that deserves to be celebrated, not just as a piece of automotive history, but as an example of what's possible when you dare to dream. For the enthusiasts who own and care for these cars today, the Sabre is more than just a vehicle. It's a piece of art, a slice of history, and a source of endless joy. And for the rest of us, it's a reminder that every car has a story, and some stories are worth telling again and again. The Reliant Sabre may not have changed the world, but it left its mark in its own quiet, determined way. It's a car that invites you to take a second look, to appreciate the craftsmanship and the spirit behind it. And in the end, isn't that what classic cars are all about?